Newsfirst, NewsLine with Faraz, Shauketaly.
And it must be a jolly good morning to you. Very good morning. This is Newsline, and we are, as usual, broadcasting live from the Newsfirst studios in Dawson Street in Colombo. And notwithstanding tire punctures and so on, our guest has made it to the studio. And we're very grateful to have him here on time. And here he is, in person, Mr. Vidura Wickramanayake. Very good morning to you.
Very good morning to you, Faraz, after a long time.
Indeed, indeed. And it's always nice to see you here, but you had car trouble this morning.
This morning, yes, these things do happen.
They happen from time to time. But what we don't expect to happen are things that cause trouble to the people. Now, you know, in January 2015, the people were clearly ready for a change, or so they thought. So they
that is the most appropriate word.
They thought, yes. So they thought, and it's always the grass seems to be greener on the other side of the fence. So having peeked over and they looked and said, oh, well, we'll try that. But it's 2 years later. The people, I mean, I wear glasses and I have to wear it all the time. I can't see this good governance. I have a long list of matters that are affecting and afflicting the people. Why is it, Mr. Wickramanayake, that there appears to be a sense of we don't care? It's them, the people, and us, the politicians. You know, 100,000 extra a month. Cars at something like 700,000 a month. Rental. Is this some kind of deal? Don't they understand that the people are getting fed up by the day?
For us, to be very frank with you, not only you, not only the people of excuse me, this country, me as a member of parliament is also fed up with this system. This is a rotten system. It's already rotting. I don't know whether the heads of states or the leaders of the parties, political parties, cannot feel this. This has been happening and ongoing for the past couple of years, at least for the past two and a half decades. So, by degrees, the politics and politicians have lost the credibility.
Yes. And
what we get, the people of this country and the country, is bulk of lies, deception. That is what we get. Now, for an example, the people are expecting to drive a Volkswagen.
Yes, but it turns out it's a Volkswagen.
Yes. Now these are the blatant lies.
And it is blatant lies, because Volkswagen, the head office in Germany, have confirmed that they did not have any discussions about an investment in Sri Lanka.
Faraz, how can a company which is bankrupt and almost on the verge of collapse open up another plant in another country?
And then why should they, when they have a very successful plant in Pune, in India?
And they have one in Brazil.
Indeed. And they have exported over 1 million units already from the plant in Pune. Why on earth do they need another one
in Sri Lanka?
In Sri Lanka. This is obviously an attempt to bypass the taxation system in this country and to get themselves an advantage like another manufacturer is doing already. But if that is the case, and if there is a market for such a thing, then perhaps they ought to be telling the truth, and they can find that, you know, do that.
When the government or the politicians go on deceiving people, there is only suspicion left with them.
Indeed.
There is no room for truth
and
justice.
Yeah.
Right now that is happening right in front of our eyes.
So first we had the Volkswagen thing, and then we had the tire factory
At Horana.
Yes. Now that investor was accused of front running for the former president's family.
True.
And all of a sudden, imagine the level of astonishment on the average person's mind when they see the Prime Minister at some opening ceremony. It really, and the other thing is, of course, I need to mention this, not many have mentioned it, but if you cast your mind back to the last time that Ranil Wickramanayake was Prime Minister, I think that would have been his second occasion in 2002.
2001 December.
That's right. Now, in that government, they put out a BOI, the BOI put out an advertisement for a limousine service, taxi limousine service. If I'm not mistaken, and I do stand to be corrected, 500 cars. That was the dot thing, and it is a connected business, connected to this Volkswagen business that supposedly won that bid. Well, I have tried my best. I can't see any of these special limousine taxis from the airport. You come in there, you can order your taxis and so on, but there's no limo service there. There isn't even an upper end taxi service. So I'm wondering now whether this thing is always happening when the UNP is in power.
It looks like, because they have to thrive on the, mind you, Faraz, if you trace back Mr. Ranil Wickramanayke's political career, now he has been very shrewd, very shrewd. And when people are agitating for something within the party, they let them go ahead. That is Mr. Lalita Tunath Mudari, Mr. Gamini Disanayaka, and see what happened to them. I don't say that that was the mastermind of the murder, mastermind of Mr. Ranil Wickramanayake. No, I'm not accusing him that way. But he knew what to do and when to do. So, and because don't never think that he's not a good student. He has been a good student.
Has he?
Yes, of Mr. J.R. Jawardhan, of his uncle.
Yeah.
He has learned the ropes, he has learned the tricks, and also politics. But, pardon me, unfortunately, his thinking is not aligned with Sri Lanka or the Sri Lankans.
Yes, it seems to be aligned somewhere else.
Somewhere else. Totally somewhere else.
Yeah.
With the GSP plus, when the conditions came to light, all of us know that his mind is somewhere else. Not in Sri Lanka or with the Sri Lankans. And we were telling about this, what has happened to you, asking what happened really after January 8th.
Yeah, indeed.
Nobody has, the present government, nobody has a concrete plan for development.
And that's the problem, isn't it?
That's the problem.
There's no plan. They
no
came
plan.
in, they stopped all the work because they wanted to go through the contracts. So they've now paying the penalty of part of that with the port city, where the Chinese are claiming a compensation for the delays, and quite rightly too. I mean, it is astonishing that our Prime Minister was party to a plan to try and stop that project when no less a person than the President of China was here for its opening. They don't take these things lightly. And it was for a while. It was let's hit the Chinese time. And when that was finished with, they had to go back to them and ask them for their help.
And on bended knees.
On bended knees, spectacularly absolutely stupid policy.
And as you said, mentioned Faraz, this is nothing but the same policies that they implemented in 2002. That regaining Sri Lanka.
Indeed, and actually, the regaining Sri Lanka, we must point out that the second airport is also in the regaining Sri Lanka. It's just that it wasn't in Matala. It was supposed to be just off Dodondu or somewhere in that area, because they had a plan of relocating or making Dodondu and that marshy land there a big tourism project, which may have been good, but we must point out that the second airport is not some requirement of the Rajapaksa sort of need to have things named after them or whatever. However, it seems to me that if the accusation is nepotism and family bandism in the last 9 years, then every time Mr. Wickramanayake has been Prime Minister, it seems to be friends power. That investor that we spoke about the limousine service, was a friend of the Prime Minister then. He's a friend of the Prime Minister now. So it seems to be friendly power, or some form of club. But it doesn't augur very well to the people. And what is your take now? Now we have the President has announced the formation of a commission to look into the bond matter. But sometimes I'm thinking to myself that how much of investigation can you have?
My personal feeling is, Faraz, can you remember after 1971 insurrection, the Criminal Justice Commission?
Yeah.
Something of that nature should have been implemented. Not now, but 2 years ago.
Yeah.
To investigate, look into, and also they have enormous powers to even to meet the requirements of for the justice, and also to wind those who have been. That is what we have to do, not appointing a commission, where sometimes this might water down everything. Because
we still don't know what the terms of this commission are.
Whatever the terms for us, any commission for this matter, for the presidential commission, ultimately they have to refer this to the Attorney General's department, and the police will take over the case. And mind you, during the Sammanthod incident, the IGP was there.
Yes, the police didn't really do much.
They did. They were just standing.
They did nothing.
They did nothing.
Right. Well, we've got a question. Here we go, viewers. Thank you for sending your questions. 0772 300 305. Send in your SMSs if you like, or iMessages. And the first one, this is directed to you. What is the story about you taking a decision to launch an independent People's Power movement, and how does that blend with the joint opposition?
The joint opposition interests are different.
Right.
And what I'm thinking is to organize a pressure group, a strong pressure group for us.
Right.
Against politics and the politicians of this country.
Right.
Because everything boils down to politicians and politics of this country. All the problems, you take it, wherever it is, there's a problem, the politics is at a corner.
And where will the money come from?
No, we are not a non-governmental organization which will raise funds, no. But we are a pressure group.
Right.
These are two different entities.
Messages, yes.
So we don't need one. Do we need? And that is another problem. As you said, there has been a lot of perks, everything on top of the salaries that are being given to the parliamentarians.
Yeah.
Do we need this? When my father was first elected.
Oh, I see. I get it now. So what you're talking about is it's like our network. We are also a pressure group.
Yes. And also, not only a pressure group, but you are providing solutions.
That's right.
For example, take government.
Indeed.
Was the government for the past 2 years able to do what you have done? Now, even joint opposition, I point my finger at them too, because people are suffering from problems and they are burdened with them. But what have we done? Look at the price of rice today, 120, 130 a kilo. But
it's a crying shame, actually.
yes, it's a bloody shame that we, being a politicians, and not addressing the problems of the people.
And it really does become very irksome when, in between all this uncaring, unfeeling manner of governance that's going on, in between all that, when we have people who take a swipe and a dig at independent people in the likes of the Auditor General, Mr. Gamnik Vijayasinghe, he's the sort of person who should be nothing but a people's hero, because he's standing his ground and he's doing his job. And it doesn't help when the Minister of Finance and others come in and try and cast aspersions on him. You know, who are they trying to fool the whole time? If you visit the coffee and tea houses and the little cafes and the tea boutiques around the country, and if you listen to what people are talking, they're talking about the corruption that is going on in this government.
Faraz, if we say that there was corruption, nepotism, all that during the Rajapaksa regime, let's grade that from 0 to 10. If it is 5, this government has already hit 10 by the end of first year. This is the gravity of the problems. Now we have to understand this, and who can curb this? That is why I want to organize a pressure group, because these people don't understand the very language that the people talk, or what people are pleading today for some relief. If the rain didn't come during the past week and it didn't continue for 4-5 days, what would have been happened to this country? And didn't they know about this? It would have been a catastrophe. And everything is being forgotten and postponed for the benefit of the politicians, not to the benefit of the people. And just imagine, for us, the people are a nation crying for justice. This is just injustice committed. It's something similar to daylight robbery, pointing a gun at your head.
I was listening to Mr. Vasanta from the Committee Against Corruption. Vasanta Samsing, I think his name is. Anyway, when he went and demonstrated in front of the central bank, and when the central bank's governor invited 4 people to come in, and when he was accorded this little discussion with the governor of the central bank, on the one side I thought it was astonishing that the governor of the central bank has caved in and thought, well, okay, let me talk to them. And so, he was an open book, so I don't have anything to hide. But in that conversation, when Mr. Vasanta was asking him, complaining about the bond, and said, well, why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? And the governor said, well, there's no proof. And this bit, what Vasanta said, is what I found most interesting and even though it was simple, it expressed the problem. And he said, what do you mean no proof? He said that company has published accounts that they've made just under 13 billion. On the other side, the EPF losses are about 14 billion. So he said, it's obvious. That loss went there. So he said, that's the proof. It may be too simplistic, but in essence, he's got it absolutely right. voice against corruption. They've got it absolutely right. That is actually what it is, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. Just imagine, Mr. Faraz. Now you are being accused. Let's say I am an employee. You are an employee of a certain company or some institute.
Yeah.
And we commit a mistake or something that an error. The first thing what will be done? Will be sent on leave or some sort of that sort of a disciplinary action.
Yeah.
Now for this particular company, what any action taken against them? And
But they say they've taken action, but they're not
No.
telling us what it is.
no, they have not taken any action. If they have taken any action, they won't be announced, they won't be advertising themselves on the on mass media
Yeah.
and the print as well as the electronic media,
Yeah.
inviting people
To invest money with
to
them.
invest money with them. To invest money with them. Is there a better comedy than this?
Astonishing things have happened. We are also told that the same company or people associated with that company using trusts and all sorts of wonderful mechanisms have also purchased a financial sort of institution in Singapore. So you can see that this money is being spirited away to all parts and all sectors. And so at the end of the day, the longer this takes, and I'm afraid that one of the principal people we have to blame is the Prime Minister.
Exactly.
Because he didn't do anything about it other than provide delays.
Yes.
The 3-member committee, that was a delay. And by not giving them a full remit, because even that committee said that they need to look into this, but it wasn't in their remit. So, right from the beginning, Mr. Wickramanayake has been, in my view, completely responsible for the delay. And whether he did it by design or omission really doesn't matter. What matters is he is today the Prime Minister of this country for the 4th time.
Yes.
And he must have enough of expertise to know what to do.
Mr. Faraz, now at the beginning I was telling that he is a tactician.
Indeed.
Yes. Now, where did this money go? Part of that when is being stored and kept for his presidential. And some of the money, as you said, being sent to several sectors, including media. We hear things.
Indeed.
We hear things that they are buying television stations.
Yes, they are in all but law. That's what they're doing.
So this is they are organizing Mr. Ranil Wickramanayke's presidential campaign.
In all this, what I want to say is the people of Sri Lanka are also tacticians, because they have also fought, and thank goodness they've done this, because they gave President Sirisena a mandate, and they then gave a very close fought parliamentary process there. And thank God for President Sirisena, because at least we have President Sirisena who's decided enough is enough, and he's given democracy a chance, and he's given his Prime Minister a chance, and nothing's happened. They've just completely abused the system, and I suppose the President is getting all the flack, because people say, well, we elected you, what are you doing? So that's him. That's what he's done. So, good on him, and thank God that we've got this kind of system where the people have elected one there and not so well over there. But unfortunately, Mr. Wickramanayake is abusing the, shall we call it, the confidence or the privilege that has been given to him. It is actually a privilege. It has to be nothing other than a privilege. And he doesn't really care tuppence about that. Or he doesn't appear to be, Mr. Wickramanayake. You don't appear to be carrying a tuppence, because the people are getting fed up. And Do you know, I wonder if these politicians, if Mr. Wickramanayake and his team realise that at the end of the day, it's the people who decide.
They don't realize, they do realize it, but they don't care. Damn about what the people think and the feelings of the masses. They don't. That is why I said his mind is set on somewhere else, though he is the Prime Minister of Sri Lanka. This is the irony.
Indeed. But whilst we're in the mode of thanking God for having the people having elected, president and then so on, I think that I'm going to have to thank God that we have a media institution like us.
Definitely.
And our chairman, because otherwise, if he didn't have an appetite for supporting the freedom of speech and the independent way of reporting and so on, then we won't be able to do our job.
I agree with you, Mr. Faraz, because as I mentioned,
yes,
the enormous social what you have contributed to the society and to the country. Even the governments could not meet the requirements at that time. So I think we all should appreciate and admire what you have done for this country. Not only on the media,
yes.
not only on the media, what you have committed, your commitment to the democracy, no, not only that, but your commitment to the well-being of the people of this country. That we have, all of us have to appreciate and admire.
Thank you, and I want to say thank you actually in acknowledgement of all these of Team Gammadda. It's become a movement. It is a movement, and the people when our team arrives there, because they've got very black T-shirts with very bright yellow logo and so on, and when they arrive and land in that area, the people are actually genuinely happy because they know these aren't empty promises. These boys and girls have arrived and their lives, it's like turning on a spotlight because they know, oops, right, now something will happen.
They deliver.
They deliver, and that's the point. And I want to acknowledge Team Gammadda, brilliant. And by the way, they do that on their own. There's no orders here. Say that you can go here, you can go there, and all these young people who are in charge of various little projects. They're their own CEOs, and they're raising money. They're dealing with officialdom. They're doing everything, but they're making sure it's getting done. So I don't know why our ministers and people can't be the same.
No, they have their own targets.
What, their bank accounts?
Exactly, their bank accounts.
Their bank accounts.
That's their bank accounts.
And finally, I want to ask you a very quick political question. What do you think? Do you think these elections will be held?
Only, as you said, as you praised God, let me ask God.
Right.
When?
When? Okay.
Even the God may not have an answer to that.
Well, we had the minister yesterday. He said he's going to file within a month. He said 2 weeks, actually. He said the delimitation.
After that?
We'll have to ask the Elections Commissioner and or God.
But, as you said, I believe, I have trust in the people of this country and and also of this country.
Indeed.
I believe the right thing, justice will be done very soon for this country, and we'll be on a better road to progress.
Years ago, I wrote for a national paper, a weekend noisy paper, and I suggested that it was quite easy for Ranil Wickramanayake to take up residence in the United Kingdom, join the Conservative Party, and become perhaps get a nomination to become a member of the European Parliament. Now, of course, the European Parliament it will be there, but it will be without Britain. But don't you think that some of these politicians would be better off going abroad and becoming prime ministers of other countries, and let us get on with it.
Definitely, there are a lot of abandoned islands.
Yeah.
Lot of abandoned islands in the world where there are no people.
And then we can have the ultimate. We could have Arjun Island as Minister of Finance.
Yeah, true.
And maybe his son-in-law is the governor of that island central bank.
Yes, true.
They can have a field day.
Definitely.
As long as you left us out of it.
That is exactly what. That is why I wanted to organize this special group for us.
Right.
Because, as you said, enough is enough. Now,
Well, enough is absolutely enough. You know.
But unfortunately, they keep on doing the same mistake, committing the same mistakes done by the others.
So there's no difference.
There's no difference, but at a very larger scale. But this got to be stopped. This got to be stopped by someone or by some force.
Do you think
I hope for us there won't be a what happened in between 86 and 89 happening all over again, because I foresee the preliminary scenarios of such an event. Because when the next time comes, you and I may not be here.
But before we end, I want to quickly say, do you know this empty island with Ranil is in charge and Mahendran is finance minister, Arjun is governor of the central bank. I've also got 2 nominations: Minister of Education, Akhila Viraj Karyawasan, and Minister of Defence, Hilary Sagala.
Yes.
On that note, before we get thrown out for the air by MCR,
And they can also form their own fraternity there.
absolutely, they can have another flowered club all over there, and it could be legal. They could take it all out of the penal code. Wonderful. On that note, Vidura Wickramanayake, thank you very much for being on Newsline.
Thank you.
And that's it from Newsline. Sorry we overran a bit, but you know, it was enjoyable, wasn't it? Do take care. See you again, same time, same place tomorrow. God bless.